Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Let me know if you can hear me, and we shall proceed from there. In the meantime, I'm going to play my little theme music. Let me know if you can hear me out there. I see some people, but I don't want to shout anybody out until I know that you can hear me. Okay, cool. Deshaun was popping. Mocha Duchess. Idelia 100. Dis 504. Excuse me. Dis 504 girl. Hello. Angela. What's up, Angela? Jody. Miss Kim. Auntie Annette. Yes. Mrs. Parker. Hey, hey, hey. Ceylon. I think I pronounce that different every time. I feel so bad. Sandra. Okay, cool. Wayne, you made it. Yes, it is sad about John. R.I.P. Pops. John Witherspoon. You will be missed. Everybody just, I'm going to take a second and then we're going to get going. R. Kelly's jail cell.
Coming in strong with the jokes already.
Yes. He got his nasty infection on my floor, she said. R. Kelly's jail cell is mad about her floors being nasty behind him. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, Ceylon. Ceylon. Okay. Thank you. Yes, I have Nia here. I'm sorry. She was going to be introduced properly, but Nia Marie is in the house via the line.
Hello,
Music might be too loud
everyone.
here. Music might be too loud. We'll get to all of that.
Okay.
Yes, we've all been sad over Pops. J-Man. Okay. Hey, Della. Hello, world. Welcome or welcome back. I am Goddess Dawn. It's Wednesday, October 30th, 2019, and I'm back live with Nia Marie.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, we have a lot to talk about. James Peoples.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that the new rumor? Okay.
Let him stay. I'll get Mocha on him if he keeps going.
It's all good. Okay.
It's all good.
I think Bird is in the house. If so, welcome. I saw a first timer. Who was that? Let me see here.
James Peoples.
Jeanette Harrison. First time. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. So yeah, we have a lot to talk about this evening.
It was a day.
It was a day.
A day.
It's been a week, actually.
It has been a week.
It's been 10 months. If we really want to get into it.
I saw someone say on Twitter, like, we can just forget about 2019. Like, nah.
No, we're not forgetting about 2000.
You know what? Because it's reaping season.
It is. Let the reap. Because reap is not all bad. It's good and bad. So it depends on what seed you've been planting. And I'm enjoying the fruits of my labor. What we're doing here, actually, we can give Sylvester a little bit of credit. Sylvester has brought us all together in a fight for victims, or, standing up for victims, and coming together to try to make some type of difference out there, whatever that may be. I feel like whatever that is, it's going to just happen organically because we are here. While we are here, we are one, and we're strong, and we're smart, and we have a lot of fun. So I do enjoy the time, and I want to thank everybody for being here, whether live, lurking, or live in the chat, or on the replay. Love and light to you all. All right. So first things first, before we get into this court hearing, I'm going to go into some detail about what happened in the courtroom today. And then I believe we're going to talk about Faith Rogers. We have someone special calling in for that. Also, let's see. There's a book reading happening on YouTube. One of our favorites, Diva. I don't see her in the chat, so I don't know. I probably should have texted her. But she was going to come on just to talk a little bit about the book. And I think she just posted a set of new chapters that she read. So I would love for her to be able to call in about that. Yeah, we got a lot to do, but we're not going to try to be on here too long today because we're coming back Saturday night. And on Saturday night, we're going to really let loose and hang out and really get into things with regard to the other side, the circus, the sideshow. I don't want to say the P word, but y'all know who I'm talking about. There's a whole apology tour that took place. We got to tap into that, you know what I'm saying? And we will.
And I'm going to have some wine on Saturday.
Okay.
I'm going to have a nice, I'll probably do a port. That's what I do. Or Moscato. I only do sweet wine.
Same.
I don't mess around with dry wine. I just don't do it. And that is really what I'm going to be talking, a bunch of smack for people like James Peoples. Boom.
Right.
That's a taste.
We don't give people like that any mind, you know. So, before I really get into this court stuff and all this other things that are happening around this case or these cases, it's really important to not only be conscious of the fact that whatever it is you put your focus on, your thoughts, time, energy, but mostly your thoughts, because most of the time, they're spent thinking. You have to make sure you understand that you're manifesting as you're thinking. So you want to make sure you compile your thoughts consistently to achieve whatever it is you're trying to set out to do. And I bring that up because I've been getting a lot of messages, emails, DMs about, do you think he's going to get that dropped? People are concerned. I get that too. And of course, I had a little moment when I read the motion from McDavid's attorney. I mentioned that on the last live. I don't know if any of y'all were listening, but it's a very well put together motion, unlike anything Greenberg has done. And, I was kind of like, okay, we got a little action happening. But after looking into it a little bit more and also just looking at the wider scope of the situation, and especially since I've looked into what happened at court today and I see a couple things that actually give me ease, and I'll share that with you, like I said. But I just want to make this point. Just make sure, regardless of outside circumstances, if there's a situation in motion, whether in your life, there's some things you can't control, but everything you can do with positivity, with your thought being laser sharp on certain subjects or people or circumstances. So with this, my thought is the end game, which is conviction on conviction on conviction. I don't know how that works. There's the concurrent time, whatever it is, whatever it's going to take to make sure he's not out to harm anyone else. And as I mentioned before, he's not just harming, of course, harming the victims, but the parents, family members. There's, babies being born. There's grandparents passing away. There's a lot of things happening in people's lives where, because of a certain person's patterns and behavior, and manipulative ways, people are missing out. Life is short. We don't know what's happening from day to day. So you want to make sure that you are the one in control of your vehicle here, not somebody else. And your mind is what's really precious. Protect it at all costs. I'm trying to wean off of this reality TV, y'all. I'm like 90 Day Fiance, even Power. Like some of this stuff, I like is taking up. I have too much time. I have too much stuff to do. Yes, Power. It's ending anyway, so I can put Power on the list. Yeah.
So there's one more episode.
Yeah.
And then there's 5 more, I think, next year.
Okay. Well, that I can do, but outside of that, I'm not committing to no more of this bullshit. Because honestly, there's a shift happening. If you don't notice in politics, they're looking, this whole impeachment thing with Trump. I kind of feel like something's going to happen. I don't know. We'll see. But, things are happening. Things are getting shaken up. They got new laws coming into play in 2020. Make sure you read up on your state. If you're not international, read up on your country or wherever you are, your city. Just make sure you're up on what's happening. You don't want to get caught by surprise. Because you're doing something that was once okay and it's not okay no more. And it happens that easily. Let's see. Just want to make sure I'm covering everything in my notes here. Yeah, so faith plus works plus focus. And with that said, let's just take a moment to free our end of things. Let's see. We want to focus on a solid conviction. Let's take a moment and just visualize the hammer coming down. He's going away. It's over. It's done. We can breathe. Let's focus on that for one moment. Take a couple deep breaths.
Monster.
A couple deep breaths into your chest and with your nose out with your mouth. Just a couple.
Ew, I saw his toes.
Nia Marie. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get into what happened at court today. Let me see what's happening in the chat here. Let's see if everybody's with us. What's going on?
Bunch of haters.
What?
Yeah, I've been tripping. And you know what? I don't really want to address Hot Breath and her sidekick, the movement.
What?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Oh, I'm like, is there a new... Why? Oh, someone's... Well, what is it? I can't see because I've switched over to something else here.
Just a little side chat. I'm just going to drop it. Okay, let's go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everyone listening? Do I have everyone's attention? I'm going to read a document. Was going to just lay out what happened in court today. I'm not looking at the chat, so let me know if there's anything that I need to know about Miss Nia Marie.
Yeah.
This docket entry was made by the clerk today, Wednesday, October 30th, 2019. The status hearing was held before the Honorable Harry D. Leaning-Weber. Defendants Kelly, McDavid, and Brown not present in court appearances. Waived. Court appearances have been waived for this particular hearing. For Kelly, at least, I think the other two were already waived. Kelly's motion to join McDavid's motion to dismiss is granted. Brown's oral motion to join McDavid's motion to dismiss is granted. The government shall respond to defendant's motion to dismiss and McDavid's motion for a bill of particulars on or before December 9th, 2019. Replies are due on or before December 27th, 2019. Status hearing / ruling date set for February 13th, 2020 at 10 a.m. Kelly's motion for reconsideration of pretrial detention is continued for argument on February 13th, 2020. Trial date set for April 27th, 2020 at 10 a.m. As to all defendants shall stand. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the lay of the land with regard to today's motion for reconsideration of pretrial detention. Hold, please. Okay. Oh, I see how far back you... Okay, there's a real delay. Okay, I get it. Okay, so let me just... So what did we learn here? Why is Deshaun's like, Mocha, there's a spy here. There's probably...
You know what? They're going to watch on the replay anyway, Deshaun.
There's a lot of spies.
So,
it's all good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So if we want to just go back, Goddess, if you want to go back through, I think we just have a couple of questions.
Yeah, I'm going to break down this thing, but okay, tell me the questions.
So we have... Okay, so the bill of particulars, is that just explaining the charges?
The bill...
That's just clarification, is what they're asking for.
The bill of particulars was within the motion that McDavid's attorney filed, and he's asking for details, particulars regarding the allegations in counts 7, I believe 7 and 8, or either 6, 7, and 8, or 7 and 8. He's asking for count 5 to be dropped, and then for bill of particulars for the following couple charges that he's also named in. Bill of particulars is because he's saying that he might need alibi. They need to know times, places, people with regard to the allegations. They're saying they were very vague, and yeah, so that's pretty much what that is.
So it's kind of like saying, well, you abused these women, you know, in 2003. And they're like, well, which day? I mean, come on.
Yeah, they're like, well, we need details because he can't prepare a proper defense unless he actually knows what he's up against is pretty much what that is. They want a breakdown of the breakdown.
Yeah.
So this actually was filed on the 21st of October. Greenberg, I think, jumped on it just like 2 days ago. Kind of like, oh, look what we have here. This actually might work for us. Let's just jump on this too. I don't know if they're working together, if the guy's like, okay, it's done. You can, if you want to adopt it, you can. But that's what Greenberg ended up doing. He just literally copied the motion, filed to the judge that we want to get on this. We want to piggyback onto this. And the judge said, sure. As did Brown's attorney for him also. So they're all writing on this motion, and it'll be interesting to see what the judge, what the prosecution comes back with, as well as what the judge decides. What else? Any more questions?
Won't be making any decisions on that until February. It sounds.
They're back in court okay, so. Like I said, everybody pretty much got a green light to piggyback onto this motion. The government has to respond to that motion to dismiss and the bill of particulars on or before December 9th. So they have to have whatever it is they're going to come back with by December 9th. They replies to the response. So at that point, the defense is going to have an opportunity to respond to the response, and they got to do that by December 27th. Okay, so all that stuff has to be done by December 27th. And courts, as far as I know, they around the holidays, they don't open. They're closed for like weeks and weeks. But they're coming back in February on the 13th. And that's also where it says that Sylvester's motion for reconsideration of pretrial detention is going to continue for argument on that date. Okay, so at that point, the trial is still set for April 27th, 2020 at 10 a.m. And for all of the defendants, It all stands at this point for all of them. Any other questions on those things?
I don't see any new questions. I just wondering how his toe is going.
We can talk about that toe situation. I do want to say, though, before, is that what made me breathe a little bit easier just for the moment is the fact that he's sitting in there until February at least.
Right.
And it's around the corner, but it's really close to trial date also. And I don't really see what was going to change between now and then to have the judge change their mind. Because mind you, it's not just the one judge. We're working with a couple judges. He has a lot of different cases happening. Speaking of which, he has Faith Rogers, one of the who we met, I met on Surviving R. Kelly, has sued him, and the judge has moved forward, has given the green light to go forward. And I think Mocha, is she still with us?
Yep, we've got Mocha.
I think she was going to call with an update on that.
Or was that Diva with the update on Faith Rogers?
No, it was Mocha.
Oh, it's Mocha. Okay.
Mocha, if you want to call in, you have the number.
Okay.
In the meantime, let's see what else is going on here. Let me see what y'all talking about. Oh, it's going kind of fast. Okay, let's see. All of you in here with your bitterness. Oh, wow. This is what we're doing? Okay. I'm not going to even address people who are not on the same page as us, because this is my point, what I said earlier about keeping your laser focus. These people are, just wanting to distract, so they can, if you're going to fall for it, but just remember, you're taking 2 steps back. And the phone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
Good, how are you?
Hi, guys.
So,
Nia, I'm using my best white woman voice. Hopefully you can notice that.
Very impressive.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I could get mine a little wider, too, if I pretend like I'm calling, the drugstore or something like that, or, different business.
Gotta love it.
Now, so.
Gotta love it. Just let them keep thinking whatever they want and hating on us. It's okay.
it's okay. It's all good.
That's right.
Okay.
So what do you know about the Faith Rogers case or situation?
Yeah, so I did some research, and what I found is that, of course, we all know Faith. Her story was outlined in the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. She actually attempted to file a suit earlier this year with Dallas PD. But whenever she did, the Dallas Police Department did some investigating, and they actually denied her initial request to pursue a suit. So after she sat before the grand jury with the federal case in New York, they finally decided to allow her to pursue an indictment against him for assault, for giving her an STD without her knowledge. So after she sat before the grand jury, they allowed her to pursue the criminal suit and the civil suit. So the case that she's going to face off with R. Kelly on, let's see, it's November 21st. She'll face off with him. That's going to be the civil suit. So it's going to be totally separate from the criminal indictment that they're also dealing with, but they won't have a case for that one until next year. So on November 21st, with this case, it's simply going to be all about, if he did actually assault her, did he infect her with herpes? The feds have already done their portion of the investigation to determine when R. Kelly was, when he contracted the virus, the herpes virus, and they have all of the documentation proving the dates. They have documentation that shows when he was treated, how often he receives medication. So they'll use some of that, the research that they found for Faith's civil case as well. But her civil case is pretty much just for, I mean, she wants to win an unspecified amount of money. But the interesting part about it is, with a civil case, usually lawyers, if there's a civil case and a criminal case, the lawyers typically choose to pursue the criminal case first. And reason being is that with a civil case, the defendant, R. Kelly, cannot refuse to testify. So they can actually sit him down. He has to do a deposition with Faith's lawyers. He has to answer all of their questions. Usually depositions are videotaped. So anything that R. Kelly says in that deposition can be used in the criminal case as well. So it's actually very odd that they're pursuing the civil case first. I'm surprised that Greenberg or whoever he has repping him for that one, I'm surprised they're allowing that. And what do you guys think about that?
What state is this in?
So this is going to be the actual criminal case is in New York, but the civil case is going to be in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting because you don't see stuff like that happen very often. In most cases, like even with O.J. Simpson, he had a criminal case and a civil case, but they wouldn't allow the civil case to go through until the criminal case was over with. And as we all know, in the criminal case, he wasn't charged. In a civil case, he actually lost that case because there's so much less evidence that's required in a civil case. You just have to prove that there is sufficient evidence to say that they were guilty of whatever it was. So that's how O.J. lost his civil case and won the criminal case. But in this situation, I mean, I think they have a substantial amount of evidence to show when R. Kelly when he contracted the virus, and then when Faith contracted the virus. So all they have to do is prove that he contracted it first. She can say that she didn't know that he had it. He never told her. And as long as there's no messages proving that he did tell her, then I don't see her losing this one.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And then I'm sure that evidence will be used against him in the criminal case too, whatever comes out in that deposition.
It sounds like they have a lot of strong evidence from what I can tell. And
that's what I'm thinking too. I know they have like Walgreens records to show, how often he was treated, medications he was on, all sorts of stuff. So I can't imagine that she'll have a hard time with this one. But I think it'll be most interesting to see what happens with the criminal case because Faith is, she's one of the people in the indictment, the criminal indictment for New York, the federal indictment. So it'll be interesting to see how they use this information to hold him accountable next year with the criminal charges.
Mm-hmm. Because all that stuff is up for grabs once it's out there, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the biggest thing about this. I mean, everyone's extremely surprised that Greenberg or whoever else, whichever lawyer, everyone's surprised that they would allow this to happen. It's so unheard of, really. I mean, they don't typically allow the civil case to go first because they know that once they sit the defendant, R. Kelly in this case, once they sit him down for a deposition and he's forced to answer these questions from Faith's lawyer, they know that every single bit of that information is going to go into the criminal case.
Mm-hmm. Which is why go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Well, the other point I was going to make is the difference really is, too, with the criminal case, R. Kelly is not forced to testify. So that's the big difference between the two. He's required to testify in the civil case. He has to. In the criminal case, he doesn't have to. So he can choose to plead the fifth and not say anything. That's what he did in 2008. He didn't take the stand and he didn't speak. So therefore, with this information, it's going to come out. He has to speak on this case. And in turn, even if he chooses not to take the stand in the trial next year on the criminal case, they're still going to have all this information to use against him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm anxious to see how this one plays out.
Definitely. Typically, the depositions are available at some point, right? As far as public.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, every bit of the information from the civil case, the deposition itself, it'll be videotaped and it'll be transcribed word for word. So every single bit of that information will be available for the public and for the lawyers to use in the future, for the prosecution to use next year.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a good one.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
I mean, it sounds to me like when I say they, just like the Department of Justice or whomever, there's no way he's getting out of this. I mean, it sounds almost orchestrated. I 100% he's guilty. I have no question, no doubt. And on top of that, they've locked it in a way that there's just, he can complain about his toes, his nose, everything could be froze. It doesn't even matter. He's never getting out of custody, period.
Yeah.
And they're going to make sure of it because they're going to make him talk. They're going to make it's done. It is done, Beehive.
Well, imagine that he having to, he has a lot of things coming at him, okay? And everything's on record. So he has to keep all of these lies consistent and straight. So if he slips up over here and slips up over there with answering certain questions, he's going to get caught up so easily.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's a great point. I mean, honestly, Goddess, there is a lot for him to keep up with. There are so many charges. I don't know how anyone could possibly keep this straight, much less someone that struggles to read and write as it is. He can't keep documentation of everything that he said. He has to keep this all straight in his mind. We all know that R. Kelly is a smart person. I mean, we can't deny his talent. He is a smart man. However, I mean, this is a lot to keep up with. It really is. I can't imagine him getting out of this either. I mean, I think that he got lucky in 2008. And now I think that the world is so different now than it was in 2008 whenever it comes to holding people accountable whenever they have abused someone. The Me Too thing was huge for this type of situation, and I just can't see people getting away with this type of thing anymore. So I don't see it happening. I think there's too much evidence against him. I know that the others on the other side, they feel very differently about that. They feel like there's no evidence whatsoever, and they should just go ahead and dismiss the entire thing. Like there's no evidence proving any of this. Dismiss it all and let him out of jail because he's been kidnapped. But that's just not the case. I mean, there's too much against him. I don't know how anyone would ever get out of this without spending a substantial amount of time in jail. Right.
Well, I kind of, I had some thoughts about the previous trial and how there was, all that backdoor stuff happening. The judge and, it just, there was a lot of stuff, even I think beyond his, he could have been behind it, but that coercion stuff that we're hearing about, there was more to it, So with that in mind, I was thinking about now and how things seem to have turned, as far as what we're looking at. He's not as rich and influential and, a lot of things have changed. Lots of things. Me Too movement, like you said. But, I just hate to say, not to take away what I said earlier about staying positive and focused and all that. But I just feel like, confidence is great, but we got to make sure we on our end are being as clear as possible, as truthful as possible with the information that we're putting out there, because I literally have people who send me messages that they've heard from other, YouTubers or whoever, worried. But they're usually complete lies. So with that said, that's why we're here doing this. And I appreciate my sisters in truth here with their passion behind this cause, because I feel like with him going down, there is room for more to go down. Like more of this is going to be seen, hopefully.
I think so too. Taking them down one dirty D at a time.
One dirty. I love that tagline. It looks really good with the emoji. I mean,
it really is scary, the amount of untruthful information that you see, and I can see why so many people are confused. I mean, they really don't know who to trust, who to believe, and which information is accurate. I mean, it's such a scary thing, but I think that Goddess, one thing that I noticed about you whenever I first started watching your channel is I immediately just felt like I could trust you. I felt like you were a truthful person. Whenever I did my due diligence to research information that you provided, I always found that it was accurate. So I think that if anyone can get the point across to people and show them the truth, I think that you're the perfect person for it. So we're definitely lucky to have you.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah, I'm just following this thing here that's driving me. So, and like I said, one thing he might be good for is bringing us all together. I hate that's under this, but this needed to happen. And if I have to be one of the little ones putting the foot on the neck of, what is that big giant and the little people? Well, yeah, I'm one of those little people, put my foot on his neck. Yeah, one of them giants. I have the rope, all of that. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing this too, because I feel like with what happened on, I keep saying the other side, but that's what I call them, the apology tour that whole thing is so bizarre to me. And it started with phases, or that's phases with an F for fake or false. Okay. She had the video, which I talked about during the last live, that basically letting her people know that she was contacted by a reporter on a pretty big platform. This reporter is connected to Homeland Security, and through her, she was, I guess, told that they're watching and that she needs to be a little more careful about what she's doing. I noticed she just seemed, I think Nia Marie mentioned that her tone had changed during that video. She just sounded a little different, and that was something to note. But when Hollywood Hex came on and completely 180, just turned around and threw out, you get an apology and you get an apology and you, like, my head was like spinning, like, what is happening? So obviously there's, they've gotten those batteries in their back now. Who put those batteries in their back? I don't know. I know that Doug Anton had been mentioned a few times. As far as who talked to her and why she's, changed her heart about the defense fund. She still said F Dana J beyond all the apologies, even though she still apologized to him. She said some disgusting things about his children. She said some things about everybody, really. She threatened to put Levi out there. She said she had his whole house on surveillance and she was going to put him out there. And, I was waiting too. And I noticed also DJ Dustpan never came with his part 3 or whatever it was he was trying to come with. And I feel like he also got silenced. I have no interest in even visiting any one of those pages, any channels anymore, just even to spy, because I feel like whoever is giving their information they're giving us propaganda. At least before, if it was just craziness, it was like probably from them, like just authentic crazy. Now it's just like propaganda crazy. So,
yeah. No, I agree with that. I also think that even to this day, they've all apologized and they're getting along well today anyways, maybe, but at the same time they're consistently trying to compete with one another to prove who is the bigger R. Kelly fan. Like, the whole thing has always been about who loves R. Kelly more out of them, and they compete with each other and they try to expose one another to prove that they are a real R. Kelly supporter, but really they're only hurting their movement, so it's like on our side, just keep doing what you guys are doing, because all of the supporters are so confused they don't know who to believe and who to follow.
I hate to even tell them that. I hate to even tell them that they're...
You're right.
It's like, yeah, girl, call the judge, girl. That is a great idea, and that is exactly what you should be doing. I can't believe what I'm seeing online. The people send me things, and they're like, can you believe this? And I'm like, I surely can't, but I'm going to tweet it. With that being said, follow me on Twitter. God is Dawn, the number 3.
That's right.
Shameless.
That's right. I know. Let her keep calling the judge.
Yes.
I mean, at some point, that judge is, it's going to make up her mind for herself outside of the case. So let them keep calling.
Right.
Let the chaos and craziness continue. Let them keep competing with one another.
Yeah.
Let them keep showing up to court dates to show who was the bigger R. Kelly fan. Actually, I heard something today on someone's video, and this is one of the supporters, and this person is actually an intelligent woman, and I think she is doing things for the right reasons, and she's doing it in an appropriate manner out of all of them. But one thing I did notice that she said, one of the people in the chat had asked, were any of the non-supporters at the hearing? And she said, no, I didn't spot any of them, but at the federal cases, they don't play that. There's not going to be any craziness outside of the federal building. They don't play that. They'll shut that down. And I just laughed because I'm thinking, okay, if the chaos and craziness is coming from anywhere, it's probably going to be coming from that side. Because
exactly.
they're the ones that are constantly fighting with each other. You don't see any of us on here, grown man, goddess. You don't see any of us on here attacking each other. We're all here to support one another. We're not participating in any of that madness.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was telling. Oh, go ahead, Nia.
I was going to say, I know a while back there was a YouTuber that was saying, we can't tell them our plans because they're watching and they're going to try to get our stuff shut down and they're going to come to the rally. And I'm thinking, the last thing I'm going to do is come to an R. Kelly rally. That is the last thing. I don't want to see you in person. I don't want to be on this thing walk with you. Like, I'm just watching for sports. This is a bunch of spectacle to me. You guys are ridiculous. But carry on with your dollars. Go on.
Beyond.
You are so right, Nia.
It's so ridiculous.
It's beyond ridiculous.
King, go ahead and Buster, go ahead and send your dollar. Go ahead.
Yep. Spend your change. Well, and I think that kind of goes back to something that I consistently see is that they'll talk crap about Goddess and say, well, she doesn't show her face. Nia's not showing her face. I'm not showing my face. I made certain that I had a heavy filter on my picture to prevent my actual face from being shown. And I would never show my face, and Goddess doesn't intend to either.
Nope.
They want to use that against us, like, oh, we're not telling the truth because we don't want to show our faces.
Please.
No, I can tell you that the three of us on this phone, we have jobs, professional jobs, and we have lives that are important to us.
Yep.
And those are far above, those things are far above R. Kelly and the supporters. Like, that's not what we're not going to allow the R. Kelly supporters to get to know who we are personally and then attack us, because Lord knows they would call our jobs, they would come to our houses, do God knows what. Like, why would we expose our faces for them to pull that crap like they do on each other when they're mad at one another?
Yeah.
That's not what we're about.
They do that with one another.
And the victims. Look at Lizette Martinez. Yeah, look at Lizette Martinez. Look what they did to her. Like, when our docuseries aired in January, she's ran out of her home and her job, and her life is, she's coming back. But, I mean, she suffered some hardships behind the harassment. It's not okay. And I'm definitely not putting myself out there for no Sylvester.
No, not worth it. Not worth it. We all have lives that are far more important, and jobs that we'd like to keep, that are important jobs. Not a job where you can go get paid minimum wage. Like, it's not what's happening over here. So that stuff is much more important than showing the supporters our faces so they believe us. They're not going to believe us no matter what. We can have blood evidence, and they're not going to believe a single thing that we say, that the feds say, that the prosecution says. They're never going to believe it. And I think that we all are well aware of that.
Exactly. That's why it's a waste of time, in my opinion, to even, I don't go over there in their chats. It's just a pointless mission, in my opinion. You're right. It is. I mean, it might be entertaining. Now, if I'm doing it just to get, shits and giggles, then that's what it is. But that's all it's going to be. I mean, I'm not going to expect anything more out of that. I mean, should one of them turn around, like one of my warriors, Tasha? I haven't seen her here, but she turned her mind around after learning what she has now learned about the cases, and and that's fine. But anybody else?
From a supporter to a non-supporter, or a non-supporter to a supporter?
A supporter to a non-supporter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, she's in the chat, like,
That's awesome.
And exactly. And that's, go ahead.
I started off, and Goddess, we spoke about this. I started off, back in March, just, watching videos and then commenting and thinking, I've got to save these women because they don't know what he's done. And I found out within 5 minutes that it was impossible to save these women because they believed so deeply that R. Kelly was innocent, being framed, and all these women were lying. It was just, I haven't changed one person with all my facts.
Nia, I did the same exact thing, honestly. I did the same thing. I really thought that people didn't know all of the evidence that was out there. And I mean, they want to blame it on just this. Oh, you watched Surviving R. Kelly and that poisoned your brain. No, I followed this before Surviving R. Kelly, and this stuff has been going on for decades, and everyone has turned a blind eye to it. And it's sad, and it's unfortunate. But you're right. There's no changing their minds. And I think even whenever I talked to Deidre last week, that proved it. Whenever I said, if it comes out that all of the evidence is there and that R. Kelly was in the tape with Rashawn. Is her name Rashona?
Yeah, there's Rashona. Yeah, there's no D.
Okay. Well, Rashona. So with Rashona, I mean, he said right there he would never believe it. He would just say it was conspiracy, even if that evidence did come out. So I mean, there's no changing their mind.
Yeah.
And I was even listening to an interview with Kay Michelle and Nick Cannon. And they both have relationships with R. Kelly. They've known him for years. They've worked with them. And I listened to what they were saying, and they both admit that everyone turned a blind eye for too long. At the same time, they protected him and said that they didn't see that type of behavior whenever they were around, so therefore they chose to not speak on it. But at the same time, they said shame on us for turning a blind eye and not addressing it. I mean, everyone knows that this stuff has been going on for a very long time. We still keep hearing about, even after Greenberg confirmed that the marriage to, R. Kelly's marriage to Aaliyah was real, and that his defense for it was R. Kelly didn't know that she was underage. When we all know that that's not true. We saw the video of R. Kelly saying she was 14. But even after that, people are still saying that, I saw something today on Twitter where they said, Aaliyah's cousin just confirmed that the marriage was all a fake thing and that they did it just for publicity because her album was coming out. Like, come on.
Right.
Come on.
Anything that,
else.
they just want anything they can validate, anything that sounds good. It's, we know what's real. Like in an annulment technically is erasing, I mean, per the law, it didn't happen after the annulment. So if she said it didn't happen, I mean, she can say that legally, but it did.
Absolutely. So
that's just what it is.
We know what reasons it happened for, regardless of them wanting to admit it or not. They can say that it was all for her album coming out and this and that. But I mean, it's clear. Again, this stuff's been going on for a long time. I listened to a podcast. I can't remember who it was that told us about it, Goddess, but someone told us to speak about a podcast with Nancy Grace.
Oh, yeah.
And Lizette.
That was Jody.
And Greenberg.
Yeah,
Did you listen to that too?
I think it was Jody Cox. I haven't yet. Okay. No, I haven't had time. But.
I did listen to it, and it was good. It was good, but I think that it also, it's exactly the same thing that we've been saying this entire time. It's just, the facts are out there. Everyone knows about it, but we keep pretending like it hasn't happened. But at this point, there's no going back. There's no going back. The information's out there, and he's going to be held accountable for it. He's gotten away with it for decades. I mean, he really was lucky, and he should have stopped while he was ahead. And whenever he was acquitted of those charges in 2008, he should have saw that as a blessing and stopped his bad behavior. But now it's just too late.
No, it's exactly.
But he couldn't. He was just like,
you're right.
I'm a pedophile, and this is what pedophiles do. And I mean, and really that's the end of it. So there's no known quote unquote cure for that behavior. He should have gotten help. He should have, but he just couldn't. And since he was, acquitted or whatever, he just continued, and here we are. And now the Beehive is all in an uproar.
Well, they're going to be continuing to be in an uproar, so shout out to them, and, they need to get some hobbies because they have a lot of time to spend on this too. I mean, they're traveling, they're on during the day, like several times. Like, I'm a little jealous of the free time. I wish I had that much free time. I wouldn't be doing that with it, but I mean, I would love it, But
I definitely want to spend my dollars on a plane ticket to go see him. Or actually, not even to see him because he had an injured toe. He's not 10 toes deep today. So.
Yeah, let's talk about that toe real quick. So they said So he didn't go to the hearing because he said he had a infection and they had to remove a toenail. So he had a fungus basically that was so disgusting that his toenail died, and it's probably not the only one. I'm sure there's more coming. I can't even imagine what those feet look, smell, Oh, so that was the reason.
Disgusting.
Yeah, and it says in the article that I have from the Chicago Sun-Times that it says now he's in a walking boot. And I understand those are protective boots. So I feel like that should have protected him from somebody stepping on his foot or whatever his worry was. I don't understand it.
Well, in a wheelchair, how about that? Put him in a wheelchair. He's afraid someone's going to step on his foot. Wheel him in.
Just go ahead and get a walker.
Well, it says he had a boot.
Like a little boundary.
Yeah, he's...
I mean, if he was scared of people bumping into his little raggedy, pissy foot, put the walker down, step into that space.
He's pissing on his foot.
Put the walker down, step into that space. Hey, back up. Don't bump into my toe.
Right.
Where do they do that? Where do grown men act like this?
So bizarre.
So,
and you know what boggles my mind about it, too, is I've never heard of any inmate, criminal, being able to get out of court dates for stuff like
that's
this.
what I was going to say, too.
Do you get out of court?
Yeah. I mean, because Greenberg acted like he had no idea which toe. They said, well, which toe? Oh, I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know what foot, what toe. He doesn't know anything. He never does.
He said, I know it's on the right or the left. Really? Like,
he doesn't even know. Look, I don't know how he's getting out of. I don't know if that's really the reason. I feel like Greenberg is setting this dude up for the kill. Like he's the spokesperson behind all this stuff. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to read this real quick. It says, pressed by reporters after court, attorney Steve Greenberg could not say which toe or even which foot troubled Kelly. But the attorney blamed the toe when explaining to a judge why Kelly didn't want to come to court. Didn't want to come. I don't want to go. Where they do that at?
Yeah, how does this happen?
Okay. It said that there was concern another inmate might step on Kelly's feet during the transfer from jail. It wouldn't be good if someone stepped on his toe, Greenberg said.
It's not good.
Okay. They go on to kind of recap why he's in jail and how, all the cases or the indictments, and says that a few additional details came out during Wednesday's hearing in the courtroom, which I think I read all the details, but let's see what they say. They said that Judge Leinenweber, his co-defendants, Daryl McDavid, asked Leinenweber this month to dismiss on statute of limitations grounds the count in the indictment alleging to a conspiracy to obstruct justice. Kelly moved to join McDavid in the request, which was granted, but it doesn't say that here. I'm adding that it was granted, but the judge isn't expected to rule until after January 1st. And then new status hearing on February 13th. So that's where we're at.
I saw a couple of the bloggers, the supporters. They were saying that it's just they can't believe that this is going on this long and now it's postponed until after the beginning of the year. They can't believe this. And the whole time I'm thinking, he didn't show up to court because of a toenail. Whenever he could have been wheeled in, he could have carried his little boot in, he could have done whatever. His foot would have been just fine, but he chose not to show up to court. And yet we're saying that the supporters are blaming Greenberg, the judge, everyone, because this is going on so long, but he's the one who chose not to go to court. That's what his lawyer said. Right. He didn't want to come.
Yeah, that's what it says. So why are you blaming everybody else? And if that isn't the case, why is Greenberg even saying that? Like, this doesn't, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. He
probably likes it in there. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Stay for a little bit longer.
I feel like he does like it in there. I've said this before. He's comfortable. I read an article where he liked being in the closet. That's what was his favorite space in the house, and he likes small spaces. He's in there with a bunch of dudes. He's happy. You know what I mean? He might have bumped his toe, bumping and grinding up in there.
But Robert, your sisters are out here. He's like, no, what?
Oh, yeah. He didn't want to see the sisters. He heard Dana J was on his way. He's like, oh, hell no. I'ma stay.
Oh, damn.
I'ma stay.
Dana missed his flight. I mean, he had all sorts of stuff going on.
Dana was late. Dana was late to court.
Yeah, he missed it altogether.
What a loser.
Very upset, devastated.
I guess they thought he was getting out. I think.
Dana knows.
Like, I saw on some of the chats they were all like, oh, and they're going to refuse bond. And there, just all this hopefulness was going on. And I was thinking, oh my Jesus. And then now this toe thing, and I'm like, at what point do you just stop supporting him because he's an athlete?
Right.
How about that?
Right.
How about say, you know what, bitch, I flew this whole way to see your raggedy ass, and your toe got you in your jet. No, we're done. We're done, Robert. At what point do you do that?
Yeah,
I agree.
He's just been portrayed as a big crybaby, even with the formal write-up that he had for refusing cellmates and whatever other things he was doing. They're like, he just has a bad attitude. He already has a bad rep in there. He's only been in there since July.
Oh, well, between that and the fact that you have the supporters calling the jail, calling the judge, I mean, seriously, think about that. They probably all hate his guts at this point. Like, they're probably annoyed because their phone lines are blowing up with all these chaotic requests, like, go check on R. Kelly's toe. R. Kelly's having anxiety.
Yeah.
Look at his hernia. Like, stop it.
Yeah, exactly. I can totally see that. Yeah, these people are nuts. I don't get it. Well, I think Diva, are you still in the chat? All right, Miss Mocha, we're gonna have Diva call in. I don't know if you want to stay on the line because I think I can hold two lines.
Do we have one for Diva?
I think so.
Totally up to you.
Yeah, hang out. Diva, you can call the line. You have make sure you. I hope she calls the right. So go to the solo text messages and call that number if you're still with us. I know she was here for a second. Okay, until then, we can continue. What else were we going to discuss today? Because I did have, let me look at my notes real quick. Let me see what we got here. So, Faith Rogers check. She was going to talk about Daddy's Little Freak or whatever that dang thing is. So I did read today that Epstein's autopsy came back saying that he was not, it wasn't suicide, right?
Really?
Yeah. Uh-oh. Call failed.
One that came early on in autopsy.
Oh, shoot. Hold the line. Hold on. Hold on, Diva.
Call, press 1.
Oh,
For more options, press star.
Oh, she's calling on the... Hello?
Hello.
Hey, did you call the 888 number?
Yeah, I think that's what it is, the 888-478-9728.
Okay, yeah, no. I wanted you to call my regular number. But, well, Mocha got kicked off. So, sorry, Mocha. Hopefully, just jump in the chat. Let us know you're still good. She kind of kicked you off by calling on that number. It's all good, though. So,
I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah. Sorry, Mocha. No. It's all good. So talk to us about what you got going on your channel. I know you have been reading the book Sex Me, right? And then you also have 2 new update videos. So shout out your channel and let us know what's popping.
Okay, well, guys, my channel is Diva the Divine Light on YouTube, and I also do commentary, and I'm doing book reads, and we just started doing Confessions of Daddy's Little Freak, and this book is very intense, even though we all know that it was written by Cass Jones now. She's saying that it's a fictional story, but the way that book reads, I don't know, that for me it's a real true story. It's somebody's story. She said it's a bunch of stories mixed up together is what she says. But I don't believe that. I think she was really involved with him, or if not, I think it might have been like Jerron Pace's story.
Well, from my understanding, what I heard is that she was actually with Tim Savage, the Savages, on set of the docuseries when they were filming. I don't know if it was in her PR role or why, but she was in some capacity on that set dealing with the girls. I don't know how many and which ones, but the story supposedly came from her spending time with them during filming. She usurped the docuseries by putting that book out anonymously. That's what happened. And she lined it up.
Because it says that the book was published
They were filming, I was told.
At that time.
Yes.
Okay. So she probably did. She probably did, like, take bits and pieces of everybody's stories and then decided to just throw that shit together. Well, let me tell you something. She did a great job. I'm dead ass. She did a great job. Like, the second part that I did today, oh, God. In this part, she talks about Kelly being bisexual.
Yeah, we've heard that plenty of times.
Yes. So in these few chapters that I just read, that I put down today, she was talking about her experience and how she had sex for the first time with bisexual men. And she also talks about how he serves drugs. And it says that he was drugging her with MDMA, and putting the stuff like in her food and in her drinks. And a lot of the experiences that she went through were very hazy for her because she was always on drugs.
Interesting. And we've heard so a lot of the things that were in the book were in the docuseries. Is that right? Yeah,
that's what it sounds like. Like every piece of a girl's story somehow was documented into that book.
Yeah, so from what I understand, the Savages were either they were feeding the stuff to her or she just linked up with the girls herself and got the info. I'm not sure how. I was told something, but it does make sense that she did get it through somebody and just put it out before it came out on that docuseries. That's crazy.
Yes, I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah.
I want to one day have her. Wait, Dawn, you have to try to get her on just to talk about the book.
Who? Cash?
Cash Jones.
Really?
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
Just talk about the book. Don't let her get into any other shit so that she can feel comfortable.
Well,
and, really put it out there, the real information and how she really got this information. And because, like I said, this book is, whoa.
I don't know that she would want to come here because from what I can tell, she's very particular about who she speaks with. And if she got any sniff of what we got going on, she probably, wouldn't be comfortable. I mean, I don't know. I mean, she's welcome. If anyone knows her, if she's listening, feel free. Oh.
Hey, if you listening, Cass Jones, we would love you, girl, because we want to know what's going on with that book. We don't care about anything else. We just want to know about that book. She even went to live reading.
Oh,
reenactment.
Yeah.
Not a reenactment, but...
Well, speaking of... Well, I'm going to mention the 888 number, by the way, it's on. So, I sometimes give voicemails on that number. Sometimes, just know that if you leave a message, it is subject to being played either live or on a video. But feel free to go ahead and do that. But just please don't call and say, can you call me back and give me the number? Because I'm not going to call you. Probably not. Because if you're not telling me why, I'm not trying to call somebody and get cursed out. Like, I am not going to be putting myself in those type of positions. So just let me know what you want. If you want something that I can help you with and, it's something cool, then yeah. But yeah, just wanted to put that out there. The chat is popping. So the book is still going. You put up 2 different videos, right? And you're on what chapters?
Yeah, I spoke about his shows as well and his little piggies and how they want to go home.
His little piggies. Wow. Oh yeah, you have a video of that too. So yeah, Diva the Divine Light. Nia, can you type that? Or yeah, visit her YouTube channel, subscribe, check out her videos. Very good stuff. And what are you doing, Deshaun? Oh, you got a cheerleader, Diva.
Diva. Yeah, I love you, babe. Hi.
Yes, we do. We love you, Deshaun.
We love you too, D.
Okay. Well, I think we were going to do just an hour tonight, right? Because we're going to come back Saturday and we're going to talk more about that apology tour stuff and the stuff that y'all probably really want to get into. But we were going to keep it light tonight, just really about the hearing and, a couple of things that are in the news. So,
yeah, that was ridiculous about his hearing, for real.
yeah, it was. But I think what I'm good.
Excuse after excuse. It's so sorry. He's so sorry. He is sorry, and he looks sorry. I can't with him. And his supporters, they are ridiculous. Like, go with your 10 toes deep. You'll be all right. Itchy and scratchy. And,
boogers and lice.
with everything they're trying to do. Putting up stuff on billboards and the Dollar for the King Fund and calling judges and harassing lawyers. And good luck with all of that, because you guys are doing your thing.
Right. More power to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just, you know, do what you feel like you got to do. And when you come to your senses, we'll be here. And we're going to keep being here, putting the truth out. And shout out to Team Truth. Shout out to Angelo Clary. Yep. And his fight for his daughter and justice in general. And
yes, he posts about other child victims, victims in addition to Azriel and Joycelyn. So please follow him on Twitter. I forget what his handle is, but he does a lot of work for child.
His Twitter is I think I am back Angelo or something like that.
well, I'm sure he's findable. He you can probably find him if you search his name.
Angelo Clary, you'll get him.
Yeah, you'll find him exactly. Well, thank you, Diva, for updating us, and we will check out your videos.
I was trying to stay up, but the husband didn't wake me up. He did his own thing, jumped in the shower, and left me be. And I wake up, and I'm like, what time is it? I said, oh, no.
No, it's all good. I appreciate you taking the time out from your family to come to this family and share that info.
Yes, you know I love you guys.
Love you back.
Abandon y'all. I'm
love
so
you back.
Sorry I was late.
No,
everyone.
you're good. You're good. You're perfect. Thank you for coming through. We love you back, and we're going to be on that channel. You guys, if you're on Twitter, make sure you just hit that share on her video and copy the link and put it in your Twitter and tweet that out. We need to share people's work so we can get the word out and, you know, get our people some numbers here. So, all right, Miss Diva, we will see you online.
Yeah, again, guys, my Twitter is egarcia40. So if you want to find me there, that's my info.
Yes. All right, girl. We'll be back on Saturday. Hopefully you can join us.
Yes, God willing, guys. God bless everyone.
God bless you,
Have
babe.
a good night.
Love and light.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome. So, yeah, I think we're good. Yes, shout out Team Truth. That's right. My warriors, thank you for coming through. Nia Marie, love you as always. Appreciate your support.
Yes.
And you guys, just keep keeping it real. Keep keeping it truth. Peace and love and light. And again, R.I.P. Pops, John Witherspoon, you will be missed. And I think we're out. Till next time, peace.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.